Cookielol is League of Legends' most widely spoken about predator, and in April of 2023 his somewhat successful career would plummet into the abyss following a 90-page damning allegations of multiple crimes committed. But how do you go from a successful streamer to a fugitive escaping your home country in Sweden, settle down in Asia, and then try to crypto scam the League community? Before we continue, let's have a look at today's sponsor, Toppin.gg. Playing League of Legends alone, and I mean any multiplayer game really, is perhaps the most boring thing on the planet, but with Toppin.gg you can cure your boredom. Toppin.gg is the ultimate platform to connect you with reliable teammates, whether you're looking to find a duo to climb the ranks or just want to chill to the max. Toppin.gg got you covered. I've been using Toppin myself and it's a game changer. You can find teammates in just 30 seconds 24/7, and Toppin gets you teamed up and ready to go with awesome hand-verified teammates only. You can even get really cheap quality coaching, and the coaching sessions I've got are so accessible and easy to digest. It's been super helpful to have someone giving me tips and feedback directly after a game in order to climb the ranks. But if you want to hit your dream rank, definitely use Toppin. If you use the link in the description, you can kickstart it today with just a 30-second average wait time by using my link to get 20% off your first 3 games. So head over to Toppin and make it your best season yet. Well, it all started with Cookielol playing League of Legends already at an early age. In fact, he was introduced to it by his brother at the end of Season 2, which would be somewhere around late 2012, where Cookie himself would also just be 12 years old. It wasn't until in Season 6 that he attempted to go pro by starting his competitive career. The earliest trace of him online goes back to Euronics Gaming in 2017, where he played for a month. For 4 years onwards, Cookielol would attempt to play professionally before delving into content creation. Here he mainly juggled between teams lasting only about a month before leaving the teams. He played in Paka Papas, Diablos Esports, Vitality Academy, Diffuse Kids, and SK Gaming Prime, without any serious achievements except for maybe a pentakill during a match in 2018 with Diablos Esports, and he also promoted with SK Prime to the Apex tier in the German National League. Cookielol made an introspection in 2019 about what had occurred for the past 2 years in his amateur competitive career and how he would move forward. In this Twitlonger, Cookie talks about that his sudden stop throughout his career was since he has no real goal or passion for himself nor the game. He played League to escape from emptiness and miserable reality back then, and the reason why he gave professional play a shot was to simply not be useless. He promptly apologized for things he did or said that negatively affected anyone, and that he was feeling happier now that his life is going better. He was open to tryouts and offers, and of course ended up going to Diffuse Kids and later Prime League, which would be his end. He only was with SK for 21 days, and on SK's Twitter they wrote that they are thankful that Cookie will be assisting us here, which was SK fighting to not lose their spot in the Prime League, and Cookie was essentially brought in to help with that. As the off-season was around and Cookie was without a team, he decided that he will be doing full-time educational content by streaming, coaching, and giving out infographics, but he was also open to competing in any major ERL leagues. Promptly after, Cookielol would slowly increase the time he spent streaming as he was doing it full-time. It wasn't until about 5 months later Cookielol started uploading on his YouTube channel, where his first video was a bit of a success, and so was his subsequent videos. He uploaded mainly coaching videos at the start, and these videos had a significant amount of views, but not until very long, you see. He started to double down on a how to solo carry as ADC series, which went on and on and on. In fact, the series continued for 169 times with the same thumbnail, same bland content, which reflected in its views. This stale YouTube career would continue for about 2 years, up until late 2022, where he started hitting off by doing tier lists, which is meta for YouTube, and as well as riding off the niche drama train. He also started experimenting with a new thumbnail style depicting voluptuous female League characters that increasingly became more and more sexual. Sexual YouTube thumbnails is usually not something YouTube themselves allow, but Cookielol presumably found some grey line that allowed him to continue doing that. These sexual League characters that were featured in his thumbnails would also later be featured in Patreon, where you can find a fully explicit version of the images. In 2022, Cookielol also utilized short-form content to gain a large following, which helped him significantly by gaining hundreds of thousands of views. To some people, they thought it was mainly annoying and disregarded him as a content creator, but others found his educational value for ADCs incredibly helpful and utilized his teachings for improving in League. From January 2022 and the remainder of the year, he would gain a massive spike in average viewers. Cookie would also do bootcamps in Korea with other content creators, which also helped his popularity, and that Korea arc of his had also its ups and downs itself, like meeting his idol Faker both in in real life and in solo queue to getting his account banned for account sharing. Content creators bootcamping in Korea are often banned for account sharing since they are de facto using a Korean national's identity. You know, basically identity theft. I am not sure if this would befall Cookielol though, as he was a league partner at some point, so he could legally play on the Korean server with a RIkoh account. I'm not entirely sure if he did that. However, Cookielol thought that the ban was because he teach League to a friend in a bot game, which also would constitute account sharing. He would say that Korea was the worst experience for him and that Korea is a complete disaster and I'm not coming back anytime soon. Gosu and Cookielol was also embroiled in a drama in March of 2023, as Cookielol had made short form content of him talking negatively about Gosu, calling him delusional and washed up, essentially arguing that he had a loser's mindset and always complains about his teammates. He had frequently posted short form content on Twitter, and these posts about Gosu also ended up there, which got him backlash on the platform. I Will Dominate said, "Didn't you justify ADCs being weak by posting a clip of Tristana jumping into a melee range of a Sejuani and losing 1v1? WTF is this random disrespectful allegation? What is the point? You are such a fucking loser for this." Cookielol eventually doubled down, posting another clip on Twitter where he again got even more backlash.
Oh yeah, chat, so many people got so upset the short I made of when I said like, oh, Gosu is like, he has a loser's mindset. I didn't even try to flame him, I just wanted to point it out, you know? Gosu is always blaming the game or blaming his teammates. He's always blaming things. Before I even made that short, I watched his stream and then he complained like every single game. And then I said in his chat, I was like, yo Gosu, you're like a really talented player. I think you can still get challenger if you like work on your mental. I think you're tilted a bit too much and you blame other things. And then he made fun of it. I think he died of the enemy jungler and he was like, oh, I guess it's a mental diff. If I had better mental, I wouldn't die from the jungler. So he made fun of the fact that I told him that he has a bad mental. And then he blamed jungle diff because he died to enemy jungler.
My honest opinion is that whether you are right or not, I don't think a single streamer has ever enjoyed getting told in chat that they just need better mental. Like, it's the last thing anyone wants to hear when they're tilted. Maybe just don't give advice unless they ask for it. As a result of the backlash, Cookielol walked back the tweets, admitting he went too far and that he won't talk badly about someone for his own gain anymore. A guy in the replies wrote, "Okay, nice PR, but what do you really think?" Which Cookielol responded, "I think that I did go too far how I talked about it, but I still do believe that Gosu fundamentally and mechanically have the skills to get Challenger Plus, and a big part of that holds him back is how he views the game, but it's not that simple and the way I talked about it wasn't nice." So Cookielol essentially apologized and then voiced the same opinion that he got backlash for. Cookie also never deleted his short form content of Gosu, although he apologized, which some people actually raised the point of. But going from the tougher years of losing passion and escaping from a harsh reality to all of this newfound fame, money and power brought his doom, and as all classical stories tells us, with power comes corruption. Cookielol's career was on an all-time high, one could argue, and he continued doing what he did best, creating content. However, in April of 2023, a group of community members stemming from Cookielol's and Ikipitako's community would come forth with a set of allegations. The reason for why they did this is because this was a big pattern in Cookielol's private affairs, and he just wouldn't stop after having multiple talks when close friends said he should correct his behavior. In these allegations, they accused him of numerous crimes that amounted to a 90-long page document. This is still a meme reference today, even having its own Known Your Meme page entry. Initially, RIkoh on Twitter had posted his link to the 90-page Google Doc. Cookielol XX has scammed countless mods, employees, viewers, made creepy sexual comments towards minors and women. We made a document detailing it here. These allegations almost instantly went viral, with the tweet gaining over 3.9 million impressions today. This document had its own table of contents that referenced the accusations of financial fraud, profiteering, financial irresponsibility, sexual assault, sexual misconduct allegations against multiple women and minors, disrespect towards loyal community members and friends, and scamming his own community. Cookielol had flirted and sexualized women frequently, where some of these women were minors, the youngest one being 13. In 2020, Cookielol was almost 21 years old, talking to a 16-year-old, and after having confirmed her age, he said, "Holy fuck, hello sister, long time no see." He continued to talk to her sexually, even at one point acknowledging that the law of justice would insert me harder than I but insert my slaves. He continued to talk to her in gross sexual detail, where he even loved it by saying, "You're such a child, I love it. It's like I've got a younger sister," which the minor responded with, "I mean, I'm 16, what do you expect?" More explicit details of these interactions was shared in the document, where he was flirting with the minor, referencing the usage of a gag, and that he had a preference for a master-slave dynamic. He continued with a fixation of this 16-year-old's innocence and age, and once she was 18, he told her that she should get a plug that one uses for the buttocks, and later sent her images of sex toys and unsolicited telling of his sexual experience with his at the time girlfriend with this 16-year-old. And infamously, he once asked the 16-year-old if she had been sexually assaulted in public before, and that "I hate humans sometimes. I was so angry when I heard that my girlfriend got assaulted. Sometimes I hate being a man. Lots of disgusting ones ruin our reputation," which is kind of ironic considering the allegations of the document. This 16-year-old says that she stopped talking to Cookie in December of 2021 completely, and later left his community after he found Cookie cringe over time. She said that she was deeply embarrassed of myself and I was lost, mentally fucked 16-year-old. I craved men's attention, and in which Cookie utilized this attention and took advantage of her. The document also talks about another instance of a 16-year-old having similar experience, but no proof was offered since most of that occurred via voice chat. In December of 2020, an anonymous source had contacted the head moderator of RIkoh's community in confidence and disclosed that Cookie had behaved inappropriately to underage girls in different Discord environments. You see, at this point, RIkoh was friends with Cookielol, and this anonymous source wanted to break a case of PDF filing involving a close friend of his. This source said that Cookielol joined a mental health support server where he began flirting with girls. Some of them were legal, but some of them were minors. A lot actually, and the idea that he used a server where depressed people with no self-esteem were looking for help is pretty disgusting. This server is called Shrine of Balance, which Cookielol got specifically banned from due to PDF filing, as one of the members he flirted with there was 13 years old. So this RIkoh moderator looked at these messages, which were about 9,000 of them, and increasingly it got more concerning the more she looked into it. She eventually contacted RIkoh about what they should do, and Taco didn't know exactly what to do himself. I've noticed high elo players in general are excessively desperate and horny for girls, and this usually makes the age difference less important to them. Taco didn't know just how bad these messages were until he looked himself. On January 3rd, 2021, about 2 years prior to the allegations coming forward, Taco confronted Cookie about his involvement with the situation. This call consisted of Cookielol denying, lying, deflecting, and justifying his behavior. For instance, he never mentioned that he was banned on the server to Taco.
It was not underage. I didn't flirt with underage. That was not my intention. I was never my intention to flirt with them. I just talked to them. I just talked to people. Like, it's basically this like server for like, you know, like mental health threats, like you support people.
He denied flirting with minors, albeit he acknowledged he had DMs with the 16-year-old girl, and weirdly enough, Cookie admitted that he had been with a girl for almost 5 months in that call, which means that he would have flirty conversations with younger girls whilst having a girlfriend.
I think the only thing I did was like, there was like voice chats, right? And I used to have this friend, and we used to talk in voice chats and play like VR chat with people, and I generally just wanted. My intention was generally just to have like people, because obviously a lot of people feel bad because it's like a depression server, right? Now I found my girlfriend. We've been together for almost 5 months now, and I just feel like this is the first time in my life where I actually have like a real motivation to do things, and I have a clear like I know what I want to do with my life. Like, you know, the stream is going well. I'm genuinely happy now. Like, that's probably why the stream is going better, because I'm happy, right?
Then he later confirmed that he was flirting in the call, albeit denying it earlier.
Okay, because when I see the evidence, and if I see that you were in fact flirting when
yes.
Yeah, because I just want to make sure you remember what you said so it matches.
Yes.
Okay.
I flirted 100%, but I never flirted with underage girls.
Okay.
Strictly remember, but I do remember that I never. Maybe like, I don't know, like back then, maybe like it wasn't like I never intended to be flirting. Like I never intended, you know, like, oh, it's an underage girl. I like that. I don't like underage girls.
After mentioning this confrontation, a massive drop of testimonies and witness accounts from multiple women are brought forward into document. This casual conversation took a turn almost instantly as Cookie began to make A feel uncomfortable by bringing up topics of sexual nature without clear consent numerous times. Every time A attempted to change the subject of the conversation, Cookie would almost always find a way to bring the conversation back to the direction he wanted. Former admin had expressed concerns about some personal issues to him, and he instead took shots at her weight while keeping a vaguely weird backhanded sexual undertone to the conversation. I did hundreds of dollars of free social media brand consultation for him. His logo was designed with my input, his brand was designed with my input, his guides, his website's prototype. He hasn't acknowledged me as the person who helped him make his brand. Yeah, lose like 40 pounds and you're banging hot. Q expressed significant discomfort regarding Cookie's interactions. Q had a boyfriend and Cookie even knew her boyfriend, but he still chose to make weird remarks towards Q. She was nice, I suppose. She used to be, yeah. She amazing sex too, not gonna lie, but now it's fucking dry too. Admittedly, it's nice to turn up Psycho Girl into your obedient little slave, but not worth the other bullshit. When Q says she simply just likes to chill, Cookie turns this conversation sexual for no reason, only due to this person being a girl. Just chilling, friends with everyone, I game watch shows and that's all. In my opinion, you look pretty submissive and breathable. I don't know, I'd fuck you, your self-confidence way lower than it should be. A former moderator, they noted that Cookie had again referred to him as a sub based off the assumption that they're a girl, since according to him, every girl is submissive. In Cookie's own Discord server, he has engaged in inappropriate behaviors in his general chat. It should be understood that general chat is typically the first channel a person views/types in when joining a new Discord. His Discord community was aimed to be an open one, not an 18+ server. Cookie has a history of making girls uncomfortable with crude and sexualized jokes, and at other times posting sex toys in the chat. Feth, do you remember when we played Phasmophobia and we fucked in the toilet? So no fuck in the toilet. Tangle, did you spank girl's ass yet? Did you slam a girl into the wall yet? Okay, time to leave again. Why the fuck would I? Yeah, I'm out. You wanna see my rooster? No. Okay, sank. RIkoh, come here, baby girl, I'll make you empty. I always thought I liked butt insertion until I tried it. What's your favorite hentai? I know now you're kinky as fuck. Cookie continues being overtly sexual in general chat in his community Discord, the one thing that's aimed at all ages and frequently has underage individuals participating. This channel is not age restricted as per Discord TOS. Cookie then goes on to link hentai in general chat despite his own moderators and community members asking him to behave. Cookie does not take it seriously when the fact that minors are present is brought up. In fact, he continues to double down on this gross behavior. Please mind, this is his own public behavior, and his regular community members have to remind him of the rules and ask him to stop being inappropriate. This is incredibly embarrassing behavior coming from an adult who has stated multiple times that he values his own community. At this point, he continues to make members uncomfortable by sexualizing everything. He often said sexual things, but I was an adult, so that's not unordinary. I once opened up to him and told him of an ex of mine was forceful in bed and physically pushed me to do things I didn't want to do. He told me he went through the same thing, but at the opposite end, that he was the one who didn't stop. That made me feel uncomfortable. I had a friend in the server, and she, in voice with me and Cookie, said that one of her relatives also did multiple forceful things, and I feel like Cookie just asked so many questions about what did he do, not out of care, but more out of curiosity. That friend of mine was underage, and maybe still is. The allegations of misconduct goes on, and in Korea, when Cookie visited, he interacted with others while streaming on Twitch. Many of them were weird, and one of which he says good girl to a Korean woman out of the blue.
Come on, be good girls, please. Good girls.
We're being good.
You're being good?
Yeah, we're being nice, actually.
How are you guys when you're bad? When you're bad, you're like devil.
Even we're like when we are bad, we're not talking to you. Yeah.
Why? Oh, you don't talk to me?
Like looking.
You're like, oh, you look away.
Not even looking at you.
Oh, come on.
Is there anyone?
You ghost me. What the fuck?
On the topic of financial irresponsibility, Cookie was accused of frequently delaying payments, lacking payments, and just general financial irresponsibility towards his editors publishing content for him. It got even so bad for one of his editors that he got evicted since Cookielol never paid him on time. His editors had to even go to the point of begging him to reimburse them for their work, and when they did so, he would flame disrespect or simply ignore your message requests. To him, he was a generous ruler as he provided people the opportunity to work for him. Jakob, it's been almost 2 months. Yes, that's not long. You owe me, Seb, Rivi, Emil, God knows how many. What do you mean, Rivi? What the fuck is this? I've given him the best job on earth. Cannot, mate. When will you be able to? I don't know. Don't message me about it. I'm honestly disgusted by your behavior. I never even owed you this money. I simply wanted to pay you to help you out. But then I realized that I wasn't in a financial situation to do so myself. You should feel ashamed of yourselves, and besides, you don't fucking know shit about me or what's happening in my life. So why are you saying that I owe you money even though I don't? Answer me right now. You're spreading false rumors. I'm sorry, but you said, hey, want to make money, I did the stuff you asked for, I didn't get anything, I'm just asking for $40. Oh, my bad, things are very disorganized right now, I'll send it tomorrow. You did not just type that whole essay shit-talking me to say, ah, my bad. While Cookie was owning people hundreds if not thousands of dollars, he openly talked about the Airbnb he rented out despite owing several people money.
You know, the thing that is really sexy, in my opinion, is that it's an AC. Bro, there's an AC here. Like that's sexy as fuck. And you know, it's like a private road. Like this entire like place here, it's like a super rich area and like private, you know? Like only the richest people live here.
He even discussed buying a car and asked one of his mods, which was waiting to get paid by the way, for advice on what car to buy. In general chat, he was discussing what apartment he wants to rent, casually mentioning it's 900 euros a month, while he owed multiple people money at this time. Further down the rabbit hole, Cookielol also allegedly committed fraud by scamming his sponsors, such as Rise of Kingdom, where if enough people utilized his link to create an account and level up, he'd get a payout. He had recruited several individuals to create botted accounts so that he could meet the number of registrations required for the payout. Yes, but that's the thing, it's a billion-dollar industry, so they don't give a fuck about this. It's a needle in a haystack. In regards to Manscaped, Cookie would be paid for a certain number of sales, and he had the slick idea of doing 200 orders through himself or botted accounts, and he would basically earn more money than he would spend. Additionally, he had plans of reselling the products for cheaper to further increase the profit margin. This is an illegal practice called profiteering. Raid Shadow Legends also got scammed by Cookie, which had a similar format to Rise of Kingdoms, botted accounts that needs to meet a certain registration threshold for max profits. While engaging in these sexual misconducts, scams and delaying payments, he had made multiple promises to his community that were just empty. He had a channel point reward system where viewers could spend earned points for in-game rewards such as skins, summoner icons, TFT eggs, etc. Additionally, there were several events such as the 2020 Christmas event where users could subscribe and donate to spin the wheel of rewards. Included similar items like skins, 1v1s, coaching coupons, and more. Subathons were also common but often ended quickly due to some unforeseen reason, and these unforeseen reasons would come up quite as often as these subathons, meaning that he ultimately cancelled them frequently. These members got upset, rightfully so, from the lack of delivery from Cookielol. Many people were asking the mods about the skins they had earned, but they had no clue as Cookie had left them in the dark as well. He eventually just cancelled all skin gifting, even though he had over 450 people waiting to get them just within EU West. He made no apology publicly speaking and just left the outcry and complaints to be dealt by the mods. The last accusation of Cookielol are his continued disrespect of staff members and friends, coming with rude remarks or comments when interacting with them. Multiple mods just left his community due to his rude behavior and sexualization of the Discord server, and there were also a mention of his apology pattern, where Cookielol had apologized again and again multiple times for the same reasons, and it kinda makes you think that he never was serious about improving, and this is a pattern we'll see in the future. This damning and lengthy 90-page document made headlines within the League community and gained almost 4 million impressions so far. Numerous content creators like RatIRL, Humps, Spareshot had gone through the document page for page on their streams and ridiculed such disgusting behavior. Mockery of what Cookielol had written would also make headlines, such as him saying that he would set flash your female organ, and as well as other memes. After the allegations came forward and its instant virality, Cookie posted on Twitter about his apology in 2 parts. Initially, he wrote a tweetlonger titled "My Response" and "Taking Accountability." In this tweetlonger, he apologizes profusely, but then proceeds to justify his behavior by offering explanations and even denied some stuff. He titled each section as with the 16-year-old girl named X, and he justified his behavior that at the time he didn't think so much about it since there were a 3-year gap and the legal age of consent is 15 in Sweden. He completely dismissed the accusation of him sexually talking to the 13-year-old, but he admitted that there were times when discussions would become sexual, but nothing I ever said was directed at anyone underage. And the weirdest part of it all is that he went on to talk about him sexually assaulting a past girlfriend of his, and then went into excruciating detail which didn't sit right with a lot of people. In one of the screenshots, I talked about how I had raped a girl, but I will never make that mistake again. I had no experience whatsoever, and she also told me that she had never felt good doing anything sexual before. I wanted to help her as much as I could, so I tried to figure out how to pleasure a girl by looking at tutorial videos on how to think. Well, yeah, he goes on and on about this. Look, his apology was an apology, much like his other apologies documented in the document, just apologizing for his behavior, explaining it, and that's it. Even though it was titled Taking Accountability, there were no mentions of him doing so in the tweet longer. It was just another empty apology, and the replies were absolutely vicious. You're disgusting, and this apology is pathetic just like you. You have been doing this since past 3 years, yet you only realized how wrong it was when you got exposed, and what's worst is that you took less than 24 hours to write an apology. Shows how much you really reflected. Why did you go into graphic detail of how you sexually harass someone? When you start to change only after your career is threatened by your mistakes, there's a problem somewhere. You still don't get what you did, and the fact that you can call an age of consent that is 15, and I repeat 15, like you clearly do not care what happened and you won't change. No matter how many people told you before, stop it and change. You said you will, and it's just empty words. This apology is not it. Do better, and next time spare the graphic details of your grape. TLDR for the lazy. 1. Wrote 10 times, there is no excuse, etc, etc. 2. Screenshots were from 2020, as if it's a long time ago. Doesn't mean he stopped acting like that after those screenshots. 3. Describes his sexual life. Imagine a Grossgore video in a nutshell. You know what's funny about this last comment here is that remember when Taco confronted Cookie to change, or that he needs to change essentially, but he kept on going with his shitty behavior, so even using screenshots where X amount of years ago doesn't really do him any good. Then 2 hours later, Cookielol did another post on Twitter. I am ashamed of myself, and I'm deeply sorry to all those that have been afflicted by my behavior over the last years. I panicked and wrote a statement that probably felt insincere, and it wasn't my intention. I will talk about everything live on stream 15th of April, 7 PM CET. Even with this, people were just not happy, asking him to just leave the internet outright, and especially Twitch. Cookielol did as promised though, and he went live on 15th of April and streamed his apology for about 7 minutes. Weirdly enough, the apology just abruptly started, indicating that it was a scripted video playing on his livestream of himself apologizing. And this apology was just basically just another replica of the other ones he did, and it just felt very disingenuous. Fake crying, and again, absolutely no accountability mentioned whatsoever.
If you're hearing this, if you're seeing this, I'm sorry. It was never my intention to hurt you. I love you so much. I loved you more than anyone. I never meant to do anything. But I will say that I was never sexual, that 13-year-old. I would never do that.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
The Twitch stream was in subscriber only mode, meaning that people would need to subscribe in order to chat, which he did actually get money off on. Allegedly, he made about 400 subs that stream due to people paying to essentially shit on him. Cookie was going to take a break from social media, but the day after he went on his Patreon with an announcement post. I have sins to atone for. No more apologizing or anything like that will help, and I will instead make sure that I do good deeds moving forward and make as many people as possible in my life happier and bring a comfortable environment. I understand everyone that hates me right now. I deserve it, but for those that are just here to learn and become better, I will do my best to provide the best educational content I can bring. Moving forward, I will start uploading 2 to 3 daily educational videos, and you guys can vote for the ranked champions in upcoming polls. I'm taking a break from social media, but I'll come back to the Patreon Discord first, but I cannot say a time frame. This was essentially just Cookielol saying I'm sorry, give me more money, sub to my Patreon. Essentially, it was an attempt of stabilizing his income, and this is a pattern we will see from here on out. After having a taste of the money and fame that came with his position, he had started possibly to feel afraid of losing it all, but this was already something he had lost. As months were passing by, Cookielol had taken zero accountability, but instead doubled down to attempt to gain monetary revenue from his streaming career. He created a website named Cookie Hub that would aim at providing educational content for ADCs and even other roles. This was a move away from his Patreon. I have no clue why he decided to name it Cookie Hub, as whether that brand would help in any regards to gain customers, but here we are. About a week later, Cookie Hub's domain, cookiehub.gg, was seized by the domain owner, and with the homepage page saying, Jakob Fransson, Cookielol, if you're reading this, know that I have been patient, forgiving and have strived to maintain civility. However, after your promise to pay and subsequently ghosting me and spinning a web of lies, my patience is wearing thin. As soon as the payment is received, I will hold up my end of the promise. I have taken screenshots of everything from our Discord agreement, so deleting won't help. All I want is to be paid and to resolve this issue. Currently owned 453 euros. The top part of the update got later changed, stating that currently it's being handled, emails are getting exchanged. But the story of this is that originally Cookielol had approached a team of developers to create a platform off Patreon before all of these allegations, but after about 6 weeks has passed after his agreement, he hired a pro instead and let the original team go. Gizmogi, presumably the owner of the website, also contacted RIkoh who broke out this story, and he wrote to him saying that the TLDR is that he promised to pay it back, asked me to create an invoice, and said he would do it, but in the end it's completely silent and I just kind of feel ghosted. I'm kind of feeling it's not going to happen anymore, and he just dipped. Gizmogi and his team later got everything paid off though. Nowadays, if you're trying to access the website, it's just a white page saying Cookie Hub. RIkoh also stated that Cookie had announced something massive would be announced on the 14th of August 2023 on his stream. I'm not entirely sure what the announcement entailed, and if you look at the Twitch tracker, nothing ever was streamed on that day. However, Cookielol was subsequently seen streaming on his Twitch account again, but something had changed drastically. On September 22, he had announced that he had a 6-month update and would be streaming tomorrow, and when he streamed, he was playing on the Vietnamese server, and it seems like he actually moved there. Since he lived in Sweden, he would have over 200 ping playing on the Vietnamese server. Rather, he had 62 ping and his background had changed as well. This has a high probability of him moving somewhere close or in Indochina, and if he moved to Vietnam, it would be perfect since Vietnam does not have an extradition treaty with Sweden. So if we operate under the assumption that he was either afraid of having the police prosecute him or that they were persecuting him, he could move to Vietnam to run away from the police, effectively becoming a fugitive. The second last stream he did was on November 7th of 2023, and this stream was titled "We Going Back on Tuesday," which could mean that he was returning from Vietnam to Sweden, although I am not sure about this. What we do know though is that Cookielol wasn't heard from then until the summer of 2024, where we started getting tweets from his account again, indicating that his Twitter account was seized by a hacker. We in this bitch, followed by a gonna start nuking this PDF file stuff, spread the words first, let's blow everything up, followed by a it's still early my friends, 1.3k views and only 15 likes, come on, we're doing good for the community today, let's get everyone in here. Then the hacker indicated that he had access to his Twitch account as well, and if he got 1k retweets, he would start nuking his Twitch channel. 3 days later, we got some information that gets you into a rabbit hole of crypto. After a lot of work, I finally got access to this disgusting pedo's accounts, X, Twitch, YouTube, Patreon, nuking everything at 100 Solana coin and or 0.2 Bitcoin, followed by a Solana and Bitcoin wallets, DMs open for offers too. This was the last tweet from the so-called hacker, but someone actually started to check and investigate these Bitcoin wallets. In fact, Fiumpi did, quote tweeting Cookielol's post, writing "Hi R-word" and adding an account named Artful Dodger 222. So what Fiumpi had done is to look up the Bitcoin addresses and where they have received money from, as this is possible to do, and you can see that the listed Cookielol Solana crypto coin wallet was connected to a wallet ending with 5HHC, which again had further connections, and if you cross-reference this specific wallet with OXGH ending on it on Twitter, you'll get to an account named Artful Dodger 222 and Dodger434033 posting their wallets. One of these accounts are directly linked to Cookielol. He has an OPG named Hahahaha in his Twitter bio, and if you go to rewind.lol, you can see what this account was named by going to a very old match history, and here you'll find out that this account's name was called Itemization Div, an account Cookielol used to play on his stream. Funnily enough, he also advertises his Discord Artful_Dodger11, which he almost certainly is using to negotiate boosting orders with. I have no clue why Cookielol escaped to Vietnam, or should we say played in Vietnam. Nowadays he's playing on his Hahahaha account actively and also occasionally keeping his Sunshine Crab account up to masters. So nowadays Cookielol probably spends his time earning a living by boosting in League of Legends and investing in Solana coin. I was looking at his Reddit account, and about a month ago Cookie wanted to get a free course in interface design worth $300 by using his Reddit account. Except for this, it's unclear whether he's doing anything else other than this. Cookielol Cookielol is now living in the rightful shadow of his former glory. Thanks again for Toppin.gg for sponsoring today's video. If you want to find a perfect duo cater to your needs 24/7, check out the link below for 20% off your first 3 games.